Okay, hi. This is Michael Ellis, and today I'm going to teach you how to build a radiant energy generator or our etheric radiant energy generator type of device. So, this is pure ether energy. It's not actual electricity, so don't expect to run it and see things on your oscilloscope. It won't show up. You'll just see a 60 hertz signal, and that'll just be noise basically. But you'll see a 60 hertz signal. It'll have a funky tone to it, like weird noise attached to it, like an oscillation. So that's basically what it is generating. But yeah, it won't actually make anything visible on an oscilloscope. But you can feel the circuit, the energy coming off of it. And that's what's important because this circuit is very healing. You can actually feel the energy, and it's warm and comforting and healing. You actually heal at a very accelerated rate when you're around this circuit, more so than you do with regular old orgonite. And it's very important that you be very careful with this circuit because it's can activate all sorts of weird stuff in your body. So you do this at your own risk. I'm saying this is purely experimental and for entertainment purposes only. Okay, there, the disclaimer is over with. Okay, now to the fun part. Okay, let's do this. Today I'm going to show you instructions on how to build one of these. So basically you start off with a piece of orgonite, basically your old tower buster. You can make it however you want, with crystals, without crystals. Doesn't really matter. All you need is just a regular old piece of orgonite as your ether power source. Then you need to embed within the orgonite a copper pipe. The copper pipe can be any diameter, it doesn't matter. Just a copper pipe with an end cap embedded in a tower buster. So that's all that matters. That's all we basically need to start off with. And if you don't know how to make a tower buster, you can find the videos on YouTube, or you can find the instructions online at orgoniteinfo.com. That's a website you can go to, and I'll have links to the videos and on YouTube and the instructions in printed form, so you can get those there. So that covers that. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble our circuit, and this is going to look fairly much like a radio circuit, but it's not actually a radio circuit. If you actually put it together and check it out, it's not actually generating a radio signal, unfortunately, because or more fortunately anyways, and you're not going to have the FCC knocking on your door because it doesn't actually generate any radio signal. It's just for etheric purposes only. So yeah, there's the word. Anyways, so this circuit is just going to generate ether energy, or direct it, rather, shape it, wave shape it. All you're going to do is attach it to your copper pipe. You're going to attach the circuit to your copper pipe, like you see here, and you're going to attach it to a coil wrapped around the pipe. Now, the reason we do that is because we are wanting to stimulate the ether that's coming out of the orgonite device and direct it into a coil that we can oscillate and radiate the energy out of the orgonite device into the atmosphere. And that way we can manipulate it and use it in a constructive way. The reason we're using this electrical circuit is because by doing this, we can control the ether. And this is what Nikola Tesla had done with Wardenclyffe and his other mysterious inventions that no one knows about. So, or they kind of know about, but were very secretive and questionable on how they actually work and if they even existed. So, so here's something that you can do and it's kind of weird, and it'll give you like good vibes and everything, and you can thank me later. So okay, so you're gonna need a copper wire of a considerable length. We'll say 3 feet is good. A capacitor, any size, smaller the better. A diode, at least a rectifier of some type, and an inductor. This is the little inductor package. So it looks like a resistor, but you can tell it's an inductor because it's green, and that's why they make inductors green. So you can tell its value does not matter. We're just doing this to stimulate the coil. Anything goes. You don't even need a specific value. You just need an inductor and a capacitor and a diode. It can be anything, any size, any type. Doesn't really matter. Just an inductor, a capacitor, and a diode. And any type can do any type of work. I did this with a giant piece of orgonite and a bucket full of orgonite and a air core adjustable trimmer capacitor and a little package 60 hertz transformer ferrite core looking whatchamacallit, inductor, and a big old coil and a separate pipe. So yeah, it all works. You just need the basic things. It doesn't matter what it is. It all works in the end. It always oscillates to 7 hertz, 7.8 hertz, no matter what. And it always comes out as 60 hertz when you measure it on an oscilloscope. But you can feel the energy coming off of it, and you can always touch the circuit and get a little shock from it. So it comes in pulses actually. So yeah, it always works no matter what you do with it. Just screw around to have fun. So you will also need a pair of side cutters and a working pair of pliers. Mine don't work very well, so I don't know. They kind of stick. So that's what you need to get this done, and I will show you exactly how to do it one-handedly. So that's going to be kind of hard. So I'm going to have to find a way to hold the phone. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work, to be honest. So anyways, first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your wire and you're going to wrap a length, just one coil around, just one rotation around the actual pipe itself. If I can do this with one hand, and you want to leave a little bit sticking out. I cannot do this with one hand. I'm gonna have to find a way to prop my phone up. Like such. Okay, this isn't working. My dog's barking. Let's see. Just a minute. Okay. To start off with, you're going to take your copper and you're going to want to leave a little length, about an inch or so, sticking out, and you're going to wrap one turn around the pipe. So about 1 inch sticking out, and then one turn around the pipe, and then another inch sticking out approximately, and you're going to cut it off right there. Now you're going to take these two leads that are sticking out and you're going to twist them like twist ties around your pipe to tighten them, and make sure it has good electrical contact and it's not being covered by any resin, so it has a good electrical contact, so it's grounded. But if it does have some resin behind it, or it is covered by resin, it will still work, because we're working with ether, and ether goes through everything, as you know. Like Colonel, what's his name, on Stargate says, Nintendos go through everything. So, okay, and then as you get to the end of your coil, or your twisting, whatever you call it, you're gonna want to use pliers, because it gets kind of sharp. You can kind of do it by hand, or you can use your pliers the whole time, whatever works for you. I just coil it by hand. But your pliers are going to be your best friend. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying is. No, that's wrong. So I'm not staying visible. Keep turning it away from the camera. It's no good. Okay, I guess that's good. Alright. There. Now we can start building our circuit. Okay. Now, initially, you're going to want to build a fancy tank circuit. That is what all radiant energy works through. I don't know why. The tank circuit is the universal circuit of ether physics for some reason. It's just an oscillator. So, oscillations through the ether, coils and capacitors are basically radio circuits, but radio circuits also work for ether energy for some reason. So for some reason, they're intricately linked. I don't know why, but maybe radio works in the ether for some reason. But or maybe it's just getting an oscillator going to stimulate the ether. Maybe that's the case. That actually sounds like a much better idea. But anyways, you want to get together your tank circuit first of all. So once you have your electrical connections, your orgonite established, the next thing you want to do is assemble your tank circuit. So you're going to take your capacitor on one hand and your inductor on the other, and you're going to link together both the contacts on either end, so they are like in parallel, or what you would call linked together front to back, end to end, as you would see right here, like that. So you're going to take each lead and you're going to twist them together, what I would call Navy style, not Navy style. I guess it's not Navy style. Navy style is when you link them end to end like that. So this is not Navy style. Okay, this is just twisting them together, twist tie style. So just do that, twist tie style, and we'll see what happens next. Okay, now that you have your tank circuit, you want to add on your diode. Your diode is going to chop that up and direct it as a uniform pulse into your coil. Now, the reason we want to pulse our coil is to get it going, get it stimulated. We want to pulse our coil in order to create a, oscillation in the coil. And the reason we want oscillation in the coil is because it's a pump of sorts. So we're going to pump ether into the coil. So we're going to pump it with impulses that come through the tank circuit and just get it going and work on it as a spinning type of magnetic field, if you will, but more ether-based type of magnetic field. So it's radiant energy circuit. So the reason we're doing this is to get some energy going in the coil. So we pulse it, and that's why we have a diode. So we're going to add our diode on, and the way we do this is the same way we did with the other two devices. Just twist the ends together and worry about the rest later. Like so. You can use your pliers if you want, but it's really unnecessary. So now that we have all that established, we can actually start to see our circuit develop, and we can actually start to form our parts together, so it actually becomes more compact and structured. We can actually start to form, you want to twist or you want to bend the leads so they actually become more square shaped away from each other, because you're going to have, as you see on this, leads coming and going out in all directions. So as you can see, the diode lead you want going out and away from the rest, so you can solder and trim that. And the inductor lead and capacitor lead you want going the other way, so you can attach it to the pipe there, the copper ring, and you want the diode lead going up, so you can attach that to the coil. So that's what we're going to do. So the next step is obviously to just attach the inductor and capacitor lead to the copper ring, as we have right there. And you just simply do that by, again, doing twist tie style, this time Navy style, end to end, twisting around together. You can actually use your pliers to get a better twist around there. Maybe bend the copper a little. Sorry, that's my dog. She's barking at other dogs walking by. Okay, something like that. And now we can see it coming all together. So we have our circuit, and it is grounded into the orgonite. So we have the source, and we have it oscillating and pulsing and such. Now we can begin to solder, or actually we'll do that as the last step. We got to get our coil attached and constructed, so let's do that next. So now we take our copper wire, and we're going to build our coil. So leave a good another 1 inch about from the maybe 1.5 inches from the copper pipe in the first turn, and go from left to right, always moving and drawing towards yourself, not away from yourself. Away from yourself is the wrong way. This is the right way to build an etheric coil. The other way produces toxic energy. The source that I got that idea from was the people that construct orgonite. So if you have a problem with that, talk with them. This is the way I do it. This is the way I've always done it. This is the way that works for me. So if you have a problem with that, bring it up with them. Don't shoot the messenger. So now we're just going to add turns and bring them together. As we add them, scrunch them down, tighten them up, and construct our coil. by adding turns. Just however much is left until we're done and run out of copper. And for the last bit, you might want to use your pliers. If I can get this open far enough. Okay. That's as good as we're going to get it. So we have our coil. Obviously not very much to it, because I didn't have enough copper left from that piece. But you're going to want to use a longer piece of copper, about 3 feet or 4 feet, to get a good coil going. My piece of copper obviously wasn't long enough, so I was just guesstimating. Anyways, so now you're going to bring together the diode and the copper. You're just going to take that, and you might want to actually fold this in, and once you get it at proper height, go ahead and tie that on, twist tie style, loops over loops. Use your pliers if it's too sharp. And that came undone after you did that. This fell apart. Obviously, I didn't solder it yet. Should have soldered it before I went twisting on it. Okay, and we'll get this diode lead out of the way, just off to the side, kind of, to get everything organized. And we'll compact it even more, and then we'll go to soldering once we've got everything all connected up and straightened out. There, that looks good. We now have a oscillator, and it starts working right away when you connect it up. Nothing else. Always on. And we don't worry about it being always on because it doesn't hurt anything. It's safe electricity. It doesn't kill you. You don't get shocks from it or burns from it that are fatal or damaging to your tissues. If you get a little shock, buzz, or you get a little heat from it, it doesn't do any damage noticeable. So it just is a warning, but nothing more than that. It isn't harmful. Just don't touch it when it's on. But if you do, you might get a little shock or buzz, or feel a little heat or coldness, depending on how it works. But just be careful with it. So that's all. So then you'll take this and you'll go and you'll solder all the joints together. Be sure to leave the soldering iron on long enough to get a nice smooth solder joint. Where you see the wetting, which is the little creeping up the wires, where you get the smooth joints instead of like the rough balls, where it actually forms like the curve, the U curve, or the exponential curve, if you will. like the skateboard ramp type of curve, where it actually adheres to the metal all the way. So once you get that, then you're done and you're good to go. If you don't have a soldering iron, don't worry about it. This is fine. You just run the risk of it coming loose, but it's good enough at this stage to consider it done. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll go and solder it later. And thank you for watching. This is Michael Ellis. Take a close up of our work. See you later.